Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of our Blastoise Keldeo week. Now I hope you enjoyed our previous video yesterday, even though we didn't get a win. The games were very interesting, definitely out of the norm. And let's see how we do here today. Now we're up against an Yveltal deck, I'm assuming, because it's dark. And that's a deck that was quite popular in this past weekend at regionals. So we should be in for a very interesting match. I know a lot of those decks relied heavily on Hex Maniac in order to stop Blastoise. So hopefully that won't be too detrimental to our strategy. We'll see though. Now, look at my opponent's username. Yu-Gi-Oh! Owns Poke. I disagree with that. But I'm not gonna get into that kind of argument. I know people get very passionate about the games they play and everything. Just found it interesting. And just wanted to say, guys, thank you very much for all the support. The channel has been growing like at a faster rate than I could have ever imagined, and apparently our opponents forgot he had the game open. But we'll just find another game really quickly here. Now, I was saying thank you very much for everyone's support. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. And once again, I'd love it if you guys could help me out with the like button, getting up to 10 likes at least in every video this week, so that I know you guys are enjoying the content, and it really encourages me to keep making the videos, because it is quite time consuming, and like I do take the time to record videos instead of doing other things. So I'm really glad you guys are enjoying them, and any kind of support is always welcome, of course. Now I'm gonna shut up now, and I believe we get the turn 1 Blastoise here, thanks to that Versus Seeker. So let me make sure I don't mess this up. Need to get a Water Energy in the discard pile so that I can get Blastoise in the discard pile with Superior Energy Retrieval, an Archie's, and any other card works, right? So probably an Execute. Okay, so an Energy, an Archie's, so we can get it back, and I could get rid of Execute or another Blastoise, but I think Execute is better here in order to have more possibilities after we use the Archies. So now we bench him, we use Superior Energy Retrieval, get this Water Energy back, we attach it to Articuno, because Articuno is going to be very key in this matchup. And there's our turn 1 Blastoise, which is pretty great for us. Now let's see here. I'm gonna use the other Battle Compressor, get that second Execute. There's the Float Stone, which will be quite crucial next turn. Okay, there's no second Execute. There is the second Articuno, which is great. There is the Muscle Band, which is great in order to rely a bit less on flips. So definitely gonna get Blastoise in there, and probably 2 energy, since I do have the Superior Energy Retrieval in hand. So that will ensure that no matter what, next turn we will probably be using Articuno to flip. Now I could power up Articuno right now with the Superior Energy Retrieval for in fear of an N, but I also don't want to waste this and for him to have some sort of sick turn and Lysander Articuno up and take the KO. So I'm gonna play a bit more conservative with my resources, because if he uses N, we still have the Superior Energy Retrieval to draw it. But just want to make sure we don't overextend on the first turn, because we could go for use Computer Search, get Shaman down, draw more cards, and power up a lot of things. But it's better like by bluffing or by not doing too much, we are also kind of bluffing that we're not in a very good position, and we actually are right now, to be honest. So that was very interesting. My opponent discarded Pyroar. So he's using Pyroar probably as an anti-Articuno and anti-Voltal measure. But fortunately we are running Blastoise. So if he does get a Pyroar powered up, we will probably have to make sure we get the second Blastoise into play at some point, so that if he return KOs the Blastoise, we still have the ability to deluge during future turns. So that's something very important to take into account. Now my opponent used Escape Rope. He has already used Professor Sycamore. He has 5 Night Marchers in the discard pile, so he probably won't be able to take a KO on Keldeo, but with a Muscle Band he would be able to take a KO on Articuno. There's the Muscle Band. So there's no point in me giving out Articuno for free to him. I don't mind paying the retreat cost of Keldeo next turn, so it's better this way. We'll have enough energy next turn, and we need to get the most out of both Articunos, so that the price trade against our opponents is a lot more even. Now I'm gonna use Propagation. There's 3 energy in the discard pile. This is the 4th, so we have exactly enough energy in order to retreat and power up Articuno, and we only need one heads in order to KO the Pumpkaboo and draw our first 2 prizes. Now I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep the computer search. I don't think we need to. Just gonna Sycamore. We get the other Articuno, which is great, and we can actually power it up right away, which is pretty amazing, to be honest. Now Kyogre EX, as I explained in the previous video yesterday, can be quite crucial here. We could potentially get 2 KOs on Joltik or an active Pumpkaboo if we get our Muscle Band attached to it. So that's something good to keep as an option. Now let's flip for Tri-Edge. We get just the 1 heads, but that's more than enough. Odds were in our favor in order to get that KO. 66% of the time, I believe, we will get the 2 prizes. So yeah, pretty good odds. Now my opponent promotes the other Pumpkaboo, of course, plays a Battle Compressor. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Night Marchers, and he got rid of Little Leo. So I'm guessing he only runs a 1/1 Pyroar, which seems like that deck would be what it could fit at most, you know? Okay, so we promote our other Articuno. I definitely didn't expect the previous one to survive, but now we top deck the Muscle Band, so this is very interesting. We could actually get 2 KOs on these 2 guys and preserve our Articuno, because next turn, if I only take the KO with Pumpkaboo again with Articuno, he could potentially promote a Mew and do damage that way. Although with that we have the Keldeo option, I guess, so it's not too crucial. I'm still gonna attach the Muscle Band there. Gonna play a Battle Compressor. We can get rid of Jirachi. Really won't be needing it. We can get rid of the other Jirachi, and I actually think getting rid of Lysander would be good, because there's 3 Versus Seekers but just 1 Lysander, so that way we have all Versus Seekers as an option next turn in order to get our last 2 prizes against a Shaman or something like that. And I don't know if I want... Okay, I'm gonna attach the Float Stone to a Keldeo. in order to ensure we have free retreats just in case. Gonna use another Battle Compressor, get rid of anything that will not help us get out of potentially bad situations. I think getting rid of energy is our best bet here. And probably one Shaman, as our bench is almost full. Well, now it's fine, yeah. Everything else helps us thin out our deck, but I'm still gonna get rid of an Ultra Ball. Every other card seems pretty useful. Now I'm gonna counter a Stadium just because it probably won't be crucial, especially if since we only run one. And I'm gonna just get energy back and have a Keldeo powered up, so that, and not the Floatstone one. This way, all we have to do is draw a Versus Seeker in order to take a KO on Shaman. And if I power up Kyogre, we will easily have another threat to that Joltik. So we get 2 hits this time, that's 2 more prizes. One very useful card in order to keep thinning out our deck, as our opponent, I would fully expect him to use N next turn. There's the counter Stadium, so since he's taking KOs it wasn't very crucial, but you never know. You never know if he whiffed it or something like that. It could have maybe been important, but odds weren't great. Now see, he fetched another Joltik and he discarded a Mew. So if he benches the Joltik, Kyogre EX suddenly makes it so that we can either win by drawing the Lysander off of the N or simply by getting energy. Now there's the Versus Seeker, he uses Teammates. So as you guys, my opponent obviously doesn't know. You can see I have the Versus Seeker in my hand. So next turn all I have to do is use it to get Lysander and take the KO on Shaman. There's no way he gets both Shaman back into his hand. He doesn't get either Shaman back into his hand. Keldeo has 4 energy, meaning it does 130 damage, and all I have to do is Lysander for game. Now with our top deck, I could have easily powered up Kyogre, Lysandered Pumpkaboo, and taken both KOs on Pumpkaboo and Joltik with Kyogre. So Kyogre really opens up a lot of options for this deck, a lot of tricky plays, and after this weekend it's quite expected now, but before that I think it was a very clever play to catch opponents off guard at various points in the game. Now finally we got our first win with this deck against Night March, and let's see what's our next opponent using. I really like this deck. I love how explosive it can be at times, and it's also a very good deck in order to exemplify the advantages of being conservative and being super explosive, you know? Okay, so we're up against a dark deck, which I'm guessing is Yveltal, Seismitoad, Shaman, or some combination of those Pokemon. There wasn't any fighting type in the previous screen, so he's not running the Archeops deck. The Archeops tech, I guess, which was quite popular at regionals. And I prefer to start Mewtwo here, because if he's running Yveltal, Kyogre probably won't be too helpful here. And let's see here. How can I get the turn 1 Blastoise? It'll really depend on what we get with Acrobike. I guess this is a start. If I get an Ultra Ball or a Computer Search... oh no, actually we have it now. We have it. Because there's an energy in our discard pile. Okay. Gonna play Battle Compressor. in order to get the Blastoise in the discard pile, and hopefully the other executes. There's the Blastoise. If not, I'll just get rid of the other Blastoise. There's the execute. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm gonna bench the Kyogre. Gonna use the Trainer's Mail. Not too important. Now I am going to get the Ultra Ball, because we have both propagations, we can use it to our advantage pretty much for free. There's the Keldeo. We bench it, and now we play the Superior Energy Retrieval, discard these two, get one energy back, attach it to Keldeo, which will be the MVP probably in this match, and there's our turn 1 Blastoise, and we really didn't have to hyperextend this time around. Now let's see what we get with Trainer's Mail. We can continue with our explosive start by getting a Shaman, and I think that's, yeah, it's definitely what I want to do. Gonna bench the other Keldeo, and I'm gonna use propagation in order to fetch that Shaman with our Ultra Ball. There's the Shaman. Gonna use the Luge, and now as you can see, turns with this deck can be very, very long. Gonna get the Sycamore. Should I get the Blastoise? No, I'm gonna get the Sycamore for sure. And no, we get no trainers this time around. And yeah, gonna just pass the turn. There's no need for me to rush in. We're not really at any risk. I guess I should have rushed in, because if he powers it up, there's no way we can heal 30 damage off of Mewtwo. But if we get our stadium at some point, we do have the possibility to heal that damage. But wow, there's an Articuno in play and a Water Energy. So what's my opponent playing here? He discarded Energy Retrieval. Now I just need one energy here. I think in order to maximize, just gonna get rid of these two. And in order to maximize my Superior Energy Retrieval and guarantee I get energy, just gonna get rid of 3 energy here. I computer search for the Battle Compressor, get rid of 3 energy, gonna use 1 propagation because we are going to discard everything anyways with Sycamore. There's our 4 energy. Now we can have 2 Keldeos fully powered up, which is great, and there's a Sycamore in order to get a fresh hand. And yeah, just take the KO. My opponent didn't do much last turn, and I expected Yveltal Seismitoad, but there's an Articuno in play, so there's a victory. Okay, this was a very quick game, so we're definitely gonna find another match to make this video worthwhile for you guys, because our we got a Zoroark. We got the turn 1 Blastoise and everything, but we didn't really showcase anything about the deck, or we didn't get difficult scenarios or things we had to really think through, you know? I'm drinking a bit of water because I went to an expo during the weekend and my throat hurts a little bit. I think I'm getting a bit sick, but I still wanna record all the videos I promised. We're now up to 3 videos per day. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you might not know, but I'm now uploading, starting from this week. I'm going to be uploading 3 videos per day, 2 in English, as we've been doing for the past 3 weeks, and an extra video in Spanish. Well, okay, we're up against Mega Ampharos. Now, these extra videos, some of you might be interested in them, others will probably never watch them, but Just wanted to say they're gonna be there. And it is more work, but I'm enjoying it, so it's perfectly fine for me. Now let's see here. We went first. Can I get the turn 1 Blastoise here? I think I can. By getting rid... Okay, first off, execute and the superior energy retrieval. Yeah, we got this. We get a Blastoise. And there's our Jirachis. Now let me just make sure there's Archies in here and we don't have 2 of them prized, which odds are low, but they do... It is still a possibility, but fortunately I can see the Archies is in the deck. Now I get rid of Blastoise and Lysander. I go for a Jirachi. I play down the Articuno, I play down my energy, I play down Jirachi and fetch the 1 Archies in the deck, and there's the turn 1 Blastoise once again. This deck really excels at doing that. Now I don't really want to attach the Flowstone just yet. Let's see what we get with our Trainer's Mail. Okay, perfect. Battle Compressor is exactly what I wanted in order to get the executes and the other Blastoise in our discard pile, so that the executes can help us deal with the discarding costs of our cards much more easily. Now the second execute is prized. I'm wondering if I should put energy in the discard pile just to open up the possibility of superior energy retrieval. No, I don't think it's a good idea for now. I think I'm gonna get rid of Kyogre EX because in this matchup with high HP EXs, it definitely won't be useful. So with that in mind, I'm gonna use Propagation and I'm gonna get rid of the Acrobike in order to get the Shaman. Getting Shaman here seems pretty crucial. Now, I don't know if I should attach the Floatstone or not. I'd like to attach it to a different Keldeo. So, I'm not gonna attach it just yet. Okay. An Acrobike. I'm gonna get the Battle Compressor. Gonna deluge the energy there, and 20 damage won't really break this game. Or will it? No, I don't think it will. And I'm not gonna attach this just in case at some point he has to attack with Assault Laser, so just gonna pass my turn. We couldn't attack anyway, so there was no point in just going further into the deck. And with the Battle Compressor, we can discard a Sycamore and use Versus Seeker in order to get it back and keep digging through our deck. Now my opponent didn't do anything other than attach an energy and attack. So with that in mind, let's see here. I need 6 total energy, so 4 more energy. If I use the Battle Compressor exclusively for 3 energy, we have the KO ensured. So although our odds of drawing another energy are pretty high after that, I guess, but I'm gonna play it safe. My opponent isn't really threatening me at all. He won't be able to power up Ampharos out of the blue. So even though we won't have a true supporter for next turn, we will be drawing 2 prizes and we will have a 6 energy Keldeo in play. So that should be pretty much good to ensure our strong start keeps on taking us through the game. Now that's 5, that's 100, 150, so yeah, I do need the 6 energy, and that's all I'm gonna do for now. There's 170 clean damage, and there's our prizes, and there's the victory. Okay, So since the first game was a bit long, I guess I'm not gonna play another game. I guess, as I talked in yesterday's video, this deck usually does this. Either my opponent concedes really fast or we get an actual game. So I'm gonna leave the video here, guys. The most important thing you can get from the past 2 games is you always have to be focused and consider all your options on how to get that turn 1 Blastoise, because that's very crucial to this deck success. And as I would assure you that Jason Klasinski, who got second at Houston, was it? Or the other place? I'm not sure, but like all these guys who did really well with Blastoise, Jonathan Paranda, Paul Johnston, Tyler Ninomura, Jason, all these guys have the exact same concept. It's thinning out your hand in the first turn in order to get that turn 1 Blastoise. That's the absolute key in order to win this match, in order to win any match, in order to have a chance against any deck with this Blastoise Keldeo combination. And Articuno is pretty crucial as well in order to deal with the low HP non-EX Pokemon. And yeah, that will be all for today. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with more games with this deck. Bye bye.